Hi, this is Ken Schultz with Dasco Label, bringing you another efficient, money-saving solution. What we're going to be showing today is the Cab EOS1 with the optional cutter printing heat shrink sleeves. So initially what I'm going to do is I'm going to install the cutter onto the machine. And to install the cutter, we first need to remove the front faceplate. And then we're going to take the cutter, and with the same brackets we're basically going to just set that right into place. And push that on. That's all the farther there it will go on. Now, with the cutter installed, we can take and install our ribbon. The Cab EOS1 is a center aligned printer, so with our ribbon we will center align this. I do have an extra wide ribbon on there based upon the material that I'm printing, which is a narrower material. I could be using a narrower ribbon, but this is what we have for today. So we're going to wind this up a little bit here, and we have that. Now we can load up our shrink sleeve material. And when I'm doing that, I want to basically take, and I'm just going to feed it out through the cutter a little bit, and then back feed it through my system here to make it nice and easy. Down in here we have our red guides that we will basically push the material through, and then it's going to come all the way back through our back guide here. Loosen up the back guide a little bit here to allow a little bit of play so it doesn't jam, and make sure that everything is coming through straight. And then I'm basically going to take and just snug this guide up so it's snug in here, not crimping it or anything, but snug. As of right now, I'm pretty much loaded and ready to go. What I need to do now is I can push my print head down, lock that into place. I do need to... There we go. So it is fully locked into place right now and ready to print. I'm going to leave my head open here because I'm coming from a larger spool of sleeve. Okay, and now we're going to power up the printer. And while the printer is powering up, it'll go through a cut sequence and just to activate the cutter. And what we're going to do now is we're going to come over here to our software package. And I've created just a general sleeve label here that's roughly about an inch long. And I put a default legend on there. It just says legend. So when I go in to print this label, and this is using Nicelabel software, I can go up here and I can enter in the legend that I want to print on there. And I'm just going to put in there FPE 100 or 1000, let's put in there. And then what I'm going to be able to do then is, now that I have my legend there, I'm going to enter in the quantity that I want, and we're going to say 20 sleeves. And then if we want to go back over to the printer, we can take a look and watch, and then I will go here and I'm going to just click on the print key. And it is basically going to be generating out our sleeves. It's going to print 20 of them. You can see how quick and easy it is. The sleeves are ready to just pop right open and insert right over the wire. This is the Cab EOS 1 entry-level printing system. So if you're doing a lot of sleeves, if you need to print on two sides, anything like that, you'll want to step up to the next grade, either the A4+M or the two-sided XD printer. But this is a great low-cost entry-level printer that includes everything for thermal transfer printing. It'll print on sleeves, it'll print on labels, continuous. You can keep the cutter on there if you want to print on tags and automatically cut. So it gives you a wide variety of options and flexibility in your operation. Today we're working on the Cab A4+M center aligned printer. We're going to be setting the unit up with a cutter for printing on heat shrink sleeves. What I've done up to this point is I've unpacked the printer, stuck the printer here on the table, unpacked the cutter. What we're going to do to start with is, first of all, we need to remove our front panel so we can mount the cutter. The cab comes with its own wrench for using for all repairs. It mounts right inside the printer here. Very slick, easy, so you do not lose anything there. Now that I've removed the front panel, I'm just going to take the cutter, and we have 2 pins here and the serial port, and the 2 pins just slide into the 2 holes right there, and we push it in snug and then tighten down the thumb screw here till it is tight. That's the extent of mounting the cutter. Now we're going to take the ribbon, transfer ribbon. We have a wound out ribbon. The printer will take either a wound out or wound in ribbon, and I'm going to feed the ribbon right in there and load it up here. And since it's a center aligned printer, we want this all center aligned. We're going to then take and wind up enough ribbon so we have our foil all the way through there, and then with this I'm just going to tighten this down to lock this ribbon in place so it will move. Ensure that this one here is tightened down, which it is, and now the ribbon is loaded and ready to go. Next we're going to take and load up the shrink sleeve. We have an external because our core is so large here. What I'm printing on today is a 3/16 inch heat shrink sleeve, and we're going to bring it right under here, make it nice and easy loading. We're going to push this through the guides, and when it comes up here to the mouth of the printer, or the cutter, we push it down there, feed it out through the cutter, and right there we have it. Now all I will do is take and snug this down, and note that is the guides to help it guide it through the printer on the back end to keep it going through straight. When that is all set, I lock this down into place. I can turn the printer on. Printer goes through, cutter initiates, cuts the first piece off there to show that it's ready and set to go. Now we're ready to send our data file down to the printer for printing. Okay, now I've just created a real quick, simple little fixed text sleeve here that I can imprint here. We're printing on 3/16 inch material. I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to print out 25 sleeves and hit print. I've created my own little catch tray over here where we're just sort of dropping the sleeves into a box. Permanent durable legend here. We're fully cutting every sleeve. This printer also has the option to perforate, so it would be a continuous version. We have all sleeves that we printed, 25 sleeves in here. Nice permanent legends throughout. Everything's set up, taking out of the box, going. Total time of approximately about 5 minutes to get everything set and printing sleeves. Okay, and now we are going to show the perforation cutting. We're going to be printing out 20 labels. It's the same label as what we printed last time with the full cut, except for now we are doing a perforation cut. It is stringing everything together. This is great for serial numbers to keep everything in a line, keep everything rolling. Easily snapped apart, easily popped open, be able to put it right onto your wire. Okay, what I'm going to do now is a quick test for rub test for isopropyl alcohol. Saturate our rag here, and "20 rubs with isopropyl." Still very legible, no degradation on the print there at all. Very durable with our resin ribbon system. This material here will meet military specifications.
Today we're showing the Cab XD4 two-sided printer. The printer comes with the protective pads for the print head shipped with it. You're also going to receive wind-up cords for the upper and lower print stations and the spool take-up. To get the printer operational, first you need to remove the upper and lower print head protector foam tabs. If you did purchase the optional cutter, you will take and insert the metal tabs into the holes, and then you can push the print head into place, connecting it and tightening the thumb screw. That's all. Depending upon which ribbon type you're going to use, there is the alternate label for the different ribbon type. Here you have the ink in and then the ink out type of ribbon. Today we're using an ink in ribbon that we're loading up. We're loading the upper print station first. This will print the top of your label or sleeve. This is a center aligned printer, so you center justify your ribbon. You're putting your ribbon on, winding it up, and then you need to expand your core holder to hold your ribbon in place. Turning the green knob to the left will expand it out to hold it in place. Now we are inserting the lower ribbon, and we will be doing the same thing with the lower ribbon. It is center justified. We will place the ribbon on the take-up core, center justify it, tighten up our core holder, and then wind our ribbon into place. With the ribbon installed, now you can remove the outer flange for the material core holder. We're inserting the shrink sleeve onto the stock, and we're placing the flange back on. It'll automatically center justify it. To feed sleeves through there, we find it easiest to pull enough sleeve out and feed it through the cutter to begin with. Then you're going to back feed the material back through the machine to the core on the beginning. There is center justifying pins in there, guides that you can put the material into. The green knob there will expand and contract on those slides. You feed your material through, you adjust it. Once it's adjusted, you can close your upper print head, close your lower print head.
Now that we've got the whole printer loaded, we can turn the printer on and let it go through its startup sequence. The cutter will initialize to let you know that everything is connected properly there and cut off whatever material that you have extending out from the printer. What we're going to be showing here real quick is Nicelabel. Nicelabel is one of the software packages that we use to drive this printer. And with this package here today, we're using it to link to a database. So with the two-sided printer in Nicelabel, we have a front side of the label, and on our front side of the label what we're printing out is a two-letter prefix and then a serialized number, and this number will increment up by 1 along with a constant text field. On the back side we're printing out 2 lines. Our first line is coming from the database. Actually, both of these lines are coming from the database. This 100 is our from line, and the AA-00 is our to line. Over here in the database, here we have our from, and these are the different variables that we can pull from. So each of these would be a different label. I've also specified a quantity here to show that we can have a quantity within the database if you would like to print out multiples of different labels. And we can set that number there, anything that we want. This is not a required field, but it is something that I just thought we would show today. So now that I gave you a quick preview of that, we're going to go in to print this label. And in here we've selected out and told the software that we want to select which records we want to print. So in here we can select out the different records that we want to print, and we can go through and print out anything there. So we're going to print 2 of the first label, then we're going to print 4 of this label. Then let's go down here, we'll print 1 of these and 3 of these. So we're pulling, I'm seeing the quantity in each one of these here. Then I'm going to print out a blank label at the very end to get it to spit out an extra label. So once I'm done selecting which records I want to print, I say OK. Then it's telling me that I've selected 5 different options here, and I can go ahead and say print. And it begins printing out the labels that we need. So here we have all the different labels that we've printed. Starting with 1550 on the front side, counting up to 51, 52, 53, 54, and our fixed text field. On the back side, we have our information here. We printed out 2 number 100s, 4 115s, 1 165, and 3 180s. This is a continuous material to start out, but with this, we have set the length to be 1 inch, so this is all perforated. We have the option of doing a full cut or a perf cut. This is the perf cut. They can snap together. We can adjust the depth of the perf to make it easier or more difficult to pull apart. When we're done, pop them right open, be able to slip them right on the wire and shrink it down, and you're ready to go. Here's side 1, side 2, and we have full control over everything that we do with this printer. Nice easy shrink down after printing. You're going to get great durability, legend, that will adhere right to your wire. That's what happens with the open tubing, is it'll jam in there. Sometimes we'll get a piece out, other times we won't, but it will tend to jam and then it goes down the bottom there. Okay, now we've got the flattened material in here, same size, 1/4 inch, and we'll print these here out. Here's your leader. Nice, crisp, clear. The only thing is you just have to pop that open and then it's ready to go on. But this here is the difference between these two materials. Your material right here, it's open, this material is flattened, and it just jams. This material here, the open material, will jam right in here on the cutter as it's coming out because it gets flattened. And then after it cuts, it wants to open back up again, and then as it pushes out, it jams against that cutter. Check us out at DascoLabel.com or call us toll free at 800-927-7701, and we'll help you find the right money-saving solution for your application.